By now, you've probably heard that Rod Serling's classic series, The Twilight Zone, has correctly guessed a handful of predictions. The series explored a range of topics such as space travel, technology, and the social evils of the time. And while many plot lines have predictive accuracy, Serling didn't get everything right. And now, here's 11 Twilight Zone predictions that haven't come true yet. Let's kick things off with the very first episode, Where Is Everybody? The episode starts with a man wandering through a ghost town looking for someone, anyone, to talk to.
I wish I could shake that crazy feeling of being watched. Listen to.
It turns out the whole thing is just a giant simulation, and the lone man is actually a training astronaut named Mike Ferris. He was confined to an isolation room for well over 400 hours, testing to see if he could stay sane, confined in a small spacecraft for the duration of a trip to the moon. The town was just a hallucination. As of this moment, we still haven't achieved the level of simulated hallucinations depicted in the episode. With that said, even though sims haven't reached the level of Star Trek holoprograms, astronaut mission simulations are still going on to this day. NASA is currently running a simulator for astronauts, engineers, and flight controllers to train and practice for scenarios during the Artemis mission to the moon in 2023. The simulator is outfitted with the spacecraft's display, control system, and seats to mimic what astronauts will experience during liftoff to the moon and on their way back home to Earth. There's also a NASA-funded simulation currently running in Hawaii. It's to help determine the individual and team requirements for long-duration space exploration missions, including travel to Mars. The team claims the location has Mars-like geology, which allows crews to perform high-fidelity geological fieldwork and add to the realism of the mission simulation. Next, in the Season 1 episode, The Four of Us Are Dying, a con man can change his face to make it look like anyone he chooses. He impersonates a dead person in order to steal someone's girlfriend, including impersonating a murdered gangster in order to extort money out of the man who had the gangster killed. And in Twilight Zone fashion, his gifts become a curse and lead to his demise.
Hammer, Foster, Sterig, Marshak, and all four of them were dying.
No, people don't have the power to change their faces like a Stephen King villain. But deepfakes in tech are growing at a disturbing level, and government officials are starting to hit the warning button. The technology is growing at an exponential rate, and that could lead to devastating outcomes that are far worse than the horrible crimes committed in The Four of Us Are Dying. In the episode, I Shot an Arrow into the Air, a space flight with 8 crew members crash lands on what the astronauts believe to be an unknown asteroid. After going mad and killing each other in order to improve their chances of survival, it turns out that in fact they never left Earth. Fun fact, this plot would be adapted by Rod Serling in his initial screenplay for the film Planet of the Apes.
Donald, Pearson, what have I done? I'm sorry.
You maniac! You blew it up!
This has never happened. In fact, some were very critical of the science in this episode, including the Twilight Zone companion, where it states, "Any astronaut who crash lands on a body within our solar system that has the same atmosphere and gravity of Earth and doesn't immediately realize they're on Earth had better go back to astronaut school." Other than Apollo 13, the only situation that comes remotely close to this is the 2018 accident where 2 astronauts crash landed after a malfunction with a rocket during their ascent to reach the International Space Station. The astronauts were in good health and their capsule landed in Kazakhstan. In the classic episode Mirror Image, a young woman is waiting at a bus depot in Ithaca, New York, and encounters an exact copy of herself, and soon she starts to believe that the strange event was caused by an evil double from a parallel world. Later on, Serling told a Dutch television station that he got the idea for Mirror Image following an encounter at an airport. He claims he noticed a man on the other side of the terminal who wore the same clothes and carried the same suitcase as him. Now, we're nowhere near the scientific breakthroughs needed to reach other parallel worlds, but the idea of someone coming face to face with their identical counterpart aren't completely absurd. In many cases, we've seen twins separated at birth reunited, including a pair of twins separated at birth at the end of World War II to be reunited almost 70 years apart. Now let's talk about robots. In the episode The Mighty Casey, the manager of a terrible baseball team allows a robot named Casey to pitch for him. Casey can throw lightning fastballs that can't be hit, yet is forced off the team after the league finds out that he's not human. Eventually, he's given an artificial heart to have him classified as human, and the episode ends with a plan in place to create an entire pitching staff of Casey robots. Now, there are currently no robot MLB players, but as a lifelong baseball fan, oh boy, I hope it becomes a reality. Let's add some robot pitchers to the Mets just to spice things up a bit. Sadly, the only robots entering the beautiful game is a radar system dubbed TrackMan to help home plate umpires call balls and strikes. I'm begging you, MLB, please don't do this. In the episode The Lateness of the Hour, Jana, the daughter of a robotic scientist, is trying to persuade her father to stop relying on 5 seemingly perfect robot servants that are complete with programmed memories and personalities. In Westworld fashion, in the end we learn that Jana is a robot too.
What am I? Oh, please tell me what I am.
While this plot is similar to Philip K. Dick's classic novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, we are currently nowhere near the level of AI and robotics where the android is emotionally sophisticated and self-aware. Well, not yet.
In my opinion, everybody should understand that this technology is around the corner. Your children, your grandchildren are going to be living in a world where there are machines that are on par and possibly exceed human self-awareness. And what does that mean? We'll have to figure that out.
Next up, in the episode The Trade-Ins, we meet an elderly couple, John and Marie Holt, who don't have much time left in the world, so they decide to visit a medical center specializing in new technology, body swapping. The couple decides to trade in their aged bodies for younger models.
Get out. Sorry, man.
Okay.
Get out!
Now, we haven't reached the length seen in Jordan Peele's classic film, but I come with some bad news. Through the use of VR technology, researchers are experimenting body swapping to show how swapping bodies can change our sense of self. The team from Brain, Body, and Self Laboratory outfitted a pair of friends with goggles showing live feeds of the other person's body from a first-person perspective. You know what? Let's just stop now, please.
Sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
Another robot episode. This time it comes from Ray Bradbury with the Season 3 classic I Sing the Body Electric. Here we meet a widowed father of 3 children who takes the kids to a factory to pick out a new robotic grandmother.
Well, what does that mean, Daddy?
Electronic data processing system in the shape of an elderly woman built.
A woman?
Yeah, sort of a robot.
After a while, the kids end up loving the cybernetic grandma and are devastated when the time comes for her to move on to another family, as she's apparently not needed anymore. And just like in the episodes earlier in the video, we're not there yet in robotics. But Serling has hope.
A fable, most assuredly. But who's to say at some distant moment there might be an assembly line producing a gentle product in the form of a grandmother, whose stock in trade is love.
In Season 4's Valley of the Shadow, Philip Redfield gets lost while driving and ends up in a town that's hidden like Wakanda with technology that can control and rearrange atoms, making things appear and disappear, assemble and reassemble.
Rolly! Hey, kid, what'd you do to my dog?
Nothing.
What do you mean nothing? I was standing right here. I saw you.
The town refuses to share this and other amazing technology with the rest of the world, and Philip ends up with his mind wiped in order to protect the town's secrets. This plot would come up in past episodes of Star Trek, but the tech to control and rearrange atoms is still in its infancy. Scientists around the world are currently trying to crack the ability to create and manipulate materials at the most basic level, fabricating devices atom by atom with precise control. Maybe someday. Next, in the episode on Thursday, we leave for home. The year is 1991, and 113 people built a settlement on the desert planet V9 Gamma, hoping to escape the frequent wars on Earth. Sorry, Rod, no one has built a working settlement outside of Earth just yet, but SpaceX CEO and founder Elon Musk is confident that someday we'll have a settlement on Mars.
As far as we know, we're the only life. We could be the only life, so let's put it that way. And we need to take the set of actions that are most likely to make the future good and result in the continuance of consciousness as we know it.
Let's end this with one more robot tale. In the classic episode Steel, we are transported to a future where boxing between human fighters has been criminalized and humans are replaced by fighting robots. While this hasn't happened yet, it's actually a very safe bet to say that this will indeed happen likely in our lifetime. No, there will still be popular sports like MMA, but an addition of an all-robot fighting league is coming. Just take a look at Megabots.
The world's first live giant robot fight! Here in Hayward, California, Fortress 1, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure to like and subscribe for more GameSpot universe content, and we'll check back in on this video in 20, 50 years, 100? Until then, have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.